Man, is this what rock bottom looks like? I'm sure it can be worse. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Buckshot Roulette, one of the darkest and grittiest versions of Russian roulette. This is one of those indie games that was getting a good amount of attention, and I'm sure you can see why. The gameplay and graphics remind you of the dark web or something. It's such a vibe. It looks like this takes place in the 70s, and it looks like an old game in the best way possible. I guess there's a bit of a story, but I don't know. There's a party, you're doing drugs, and you're playing Russian roulette for money cause you're poor or something. Who cares? This game is like a classic first-person shooter. The story is optional. It's all about the badass gameplay. I'm sure everyone here knows the iconic family-friendly game Russian roulette. Well, Buckshot Roulette has its own little twist. For one, you get a shotgun, which packs more of a punch if you ask me. But more importantly, you get to use these items that makes things more interesting. There's a lot more strategy when it comes to blowing off your head now. Maybe you can use something like a magnifying glass to avoid that. This item tells you what the next shell is gonna be, which is very valuable information. So valuable that you can combo this with other weapons like doing more damage. I'm sure you can see where some of the strategy comes in. You can also use other items for utility, like smoking a juicy pack of cigs for some health, or a thirst-quenching beer to eject a shell. Speaking of shells, at the start of each round, they'll show you how many live and blank shells there are. You'll have to keep track of this yourself, which makes for more interesting and skillful gameplay. You'll be surprised at how many people lose track of what shells are left. Items like the inverter can make it harder to remember sometimes, to be fair. And I'm not gonna lie, and don't make fun of me, but I keep track of the shells with my fingers. Yeah, that's right. I use my left hand for the live rounds and my right hand for the blanks. Judge me all you want, but you can't tell me it's not a good strategy. Well, you don't get that much health, so you need some strategy not to screw up. You start with 3 to 5 health bars, I believe. There's 3 rounds in a game, and each game can last 15 to 30 minutes. I think it's a pretty good warm-up game, especially since you can play it with friends.
It's either me or you, huh? You see, you're my friend, I don't want to shoot you, but like...
But where's the but? No, like, where's the hesitation? Yeah, so you shouldn't shoot me.
Okay, yeah, that's your thought process, but you know what? Nah, you my dog. I've known you for like forever, man. You know, I shoot myself for you. You know what I'm saying? Oh.
Wow. Respect.
Would I shoot myself twice for you?
This is a big deal because this started as a single-player game. It's all spooky and atmospheric when you're playing alone. You know, the dealer is a scary guy until you get to know him, but the vibe is more gritty until you play with friends. Then things can get a lot more funny.
Alright guys, hear me out.
Who's getting diddled?
Hear me out. I'm thinking of a number 1 through 10.
Tails.
Final answer, Dylan?
Yes. You know what? Fuck it. Heads.
You're out of the game.
It was tails! It was tails! I knew it.
The number was 4.
If you have a friend or two, that can completely change the experience. Things like RNG can have a lot more reactions when everyone is watching. Honestly, sometimes the RNG can be crazy sometimes, even though you should expect it in a game like this.
No way! Bro, look at my board!
Oh my god.
Screw 2 phones, I got like 5 phones!
Yo.
Yo, hello, I'm calling the president. I'm calling Michael Jackson real quick.
But when you're playing with friends, you have to decide if and how you play with random people. Even if you're not playing with friends, it seems like people build alliances, play cooperatively, or at least tension will break out between 2 players. That last one is actually the best case scenario. My friends and I don't like it when people gang up on each other. We actually play this game civilized and don't try to immediately kill people off, unless they're proven to be a problem. Some people just play so aggressively, like what are you so bloodthirsty for? You don't get XP or anything to show off, which is actually a slight critique of mine. I really appreciate this being a fun, simple game. I just wish there was a fun, simple progression like leveling up or stats to show off, similar to single player. At least there's achievements and some progression with that. Some of them seem pretty impressive. Too bad none of these count for multiplayer though, which isn't a big deal. There's really not too much to criticize with this game. Although one of the bigger ones is people leaving games when they die on the first round. I think a progression system might discourage people from leaving if they have a reason to stay. At the very least, people should be able to join a game in progress if they want. Another issue can be these little glitches in multiplayer. Very rarely, my friends won't be able to click anything when it's their turn. I'm always the host, so maybe that's why it doesn't happen to me, and sometimes things like the health or items can be wrong on their screen, like it'll show something else. This doesn't happen often, but it can be annoying when it does. It's the worst when it freezes their game. For those being the bigger criticisms, it's not a huge deal, but something that could have added a lot more potential is a Steam workshop. Like, just imagine if you can get a mod to replace the shotgun with a ray gun, or BFG, or even a water gun. That would be so cool. Like, what if you could change your player model to, I don't know, Master Chief, or one of your favorite anime girls, you freak? You know what? A workshop would ruin that amazing atmosphere we have going on. I don't know, so maybe having an original game mode and a workshop mode can be the middle ground. Either way, that's just something I would hope for. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much hope for that because this game hasn't received any updates since late 2024. Buckshot Roulette came out in April 2024, and the main update it got was the multiplayer updates a few months later in October. Then in November, we got some quality of life features like match settings the host can mess with. This is actually really useful because I like having 3 health on the first round, 4 health on the second round, and 5 health on the third. We also disabled the jammer because we think it's pretty overpowered and not as fun, and we disabled the sawed off for the first round too. It was confusing at first, but we like having things our custom way. Too bad these settings don't save and I have to change them every single time. Maybe I'm missing something, but either way it's fine. This game left off in a good state and wouldn't have needed many more updates anyway. Apparently, this game was supposed to come out on console, but it didn't. Maybe it will after this video, but it's seemingly past due for most people. I'm sure that would bring in a lot more people. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the player count. Yeah, not too bad actually. This game started strong with thousands of players, then hit a new peak when multiplayer came out. It makes sense why it didn't maintain this peak number, but I'm happy with this player count. I'm sure a new update would boost this back up, but since you can host and join lobbies, even if this game had 100 people, it would be fine. Another big thing that can help with the player count and entry point of this game is the price. Buckshot Roulette costs a whopping $3. I got this game for under $2 on sale. For a game like this, that might as well be free. Give this developer his damn dollar. Think of everything we talked about here today, and it only costs $1 to $3. And I'm sure most computers can at least run this game. Maybe less good computers will have dips, but it should be fine. When you're dealing with a game this solid for that price, anything negative you say feels so small. This is simply a great indie game for a great price, and you can play it with your friends, and the single player experience is a bit unique too. It has a different item, the shells can be scrambled, there's more animations, it's a bit slower, it's just a bit more of a single player experience. The dealer's AI is like medium difficulty until you beat them and unlock the harder game mode. I don't entirely want to spoil it, but it's harder, longer, and more money is involved. Whichever way you decide to play the game, I think it's worth it for that price. So far, I have about 30 hours of playtime, and I can imagine this being a warm-up game until 50 or 100 hours, maybe longer. I think it's kind of a no-brainer getting this even if you're a little bit interested. I would call this a hidden gem, but enough people know about it. Most of the reviews and hype happened when this game came out and the multiplayer update, but I finally checked it out and wanted to see where this game went. It looks like you can expect this game to stay in this current state, unless we get that console port and maybe another update. Either way, the player count is still solid and playable. I think this game will be playable for years after this video. Also, a lot of funny names and foreign people can pop up, so do with that information what you will. There's no voice chat or anything, so it's not like it matters. To be honest, it would be kinda cool talking to a Russian playing Russian roulette. I bet he'd be drinking vodka playing co-op with his roommate who's a bear. If you don't drop a like for that, then hopefully you will for one of the more detailed reviews on this game. A lot of the others are 3 to 4 minutes, so your attention span is doing pretty good so far. Is it good enough to hit that subscribe button and watch other videos too? Shit, I hope so. If not, I hope you enjoyed your stay. Just make sure you don't catch me at the roulette table. But here's some other cool games you can check out. I appreciate every view, like, comment, donation, everything. You're a real one for even making it until the very end. Now appreciate the developer by getting this awesome game. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.